Microphone, Chairman.
Now calling the September 24th, 2025 Southeastern Public Service Authority Board of Directors meeting to order. So the first thing we'll do is stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. The next, Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And I understand we've got a couple people are participating electronically today. Cheryl Ralston and Dale Ball are participating electronically. So I'd ask first Ms. Ralston to provide the reason for your participation and your location.
Yes, I have moved to Enrico, Virginia, which is more than 60 miles from the meeting site. My residence is 3828 Old Burleigh Lane, Enrico, Virginia.
Thank you. And Admiral Ball, are you here?
Good morning. Yes, my audio on?
Yes, we can hear you. Can we have your reason for participating electronically and your location?
Yes, sir. I am on vacation on my honeymoon. My location is 81772 Black Marble Lane in Enterprise, Oregon.
Well, that is above and beyond the call of duty.
I'm delighted to be with you all. It's always a high point of the month to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So at that point, we have no one else participating electronically. Public comment. Do we have anyone registered to make public comment today? None. All right.
No one has registered to make a public comment either in person or electronically.
Okay. On Chairman's comments, I do want to welcome Mr. Lincoln Saunders, the interim city manager for Franklin, and our new board member. And I did want to thank Mr. Saunders and our general counsel, Mr. Spain, for the unbelievable number of hoops they jumped through yesterday in order to make Mr. Saunders a legal voting participant today. There's a lot of paperwork, and it has to be filed here and there. It's not staggeringly important, but it's got to be done, and it had to be done in a short time, and they made it happen. So appreciate the dedication. Also, we have a new ex officio board member for Suffolk, Mr. Benton, Director of Public Works. Welcome. And let's see, moving on here. So at this point, the minutes were distributed by email to the board members. Oh, do I miss that? Oh. You want to do what? Okay. I'll do it before you're up there. Okay. All right, so at this point, with the minutes were distributed by email in your packet. They start on page 5 of the agenda packet. Were there any comments or corrections or notations on the minutes? Everybody read them? How many pages were they? 14. Okay. All right, so if there are none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve the minutes. A second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And does anybody need to abstain?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Purnell's abstention. Next is I'd like to ask Board Member John Maxwell to give us a update on the audit committee progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, yesterday we had a meeting with the auditor as well as the financial advisor to the board. We received a pretty in-depth review of the financial statement. And I just, to summarize, we are going to get an unmodified opinion coming up to be a detailed report in the October meeting, but we're in good shape. There were some good questions asked with respect to the procedure and the policies that the auditor used. It's interesting, I don't know if this is common practice, but before they submit their final report, the staff that worked on the report is also going to have a third-party review to ensure that all of the bases were tagged with respect to compliance with all rules and regulations. So kudos to the staff. Ms. Schreiber particularly did a really nice job. We also had a meeting with, at that meeting was the financial advisor, and reviewed with their policies. As you know, we're kind of limited on what we can invest in, but nevertheless, there was a real good discussion on the relationship between cash needs and the amount of money that will be made available. The staff has done a really good job of mirroring those two, so kudos to the staff. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Maxwell. So at this point, I would turn the floor over to Dennis Bagley, our Executive Director, for his updates.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to start out this morning. As you are well aware, we've been working to upgrade all of the electronics here in the boardroom. I'm going to ask Rob Romano, our IT Director, to come up, and he's going to show you a few features that we currently have and some of the things that we're working on moving forward. Rob?
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let you all know, if you'll notice on your microphones today, each of them should have your names listed based on the placard that's next to you. We anticipate rolling out some moderation features, most likely next board meeting, to allow it where people can select the microphone and the moderator can either approve or reject whoever is expected to speak. We're also planning on rolling out some other processes within the next couple of months regarding voting, setting all of that up, and refining our processes as far as getting them broadcast. This is our first YouTube live meeting that's being broadcast through YouTube. So we're all currently streaming right now. The camera feed will actually be in the top right-hand corner, so it's not a full, shot of everybody. The slideshow still is the predominant side of that screen. But we do plan on branching out to broadcast this on Facebook and other streaming means by the end of 2025. And if there are any improvements, any issues that you notice, please bring them forward and we can work to iron those out for you. I'd like to thank the board for their patience and consideration during this transition, and hope that this starts to modernize this board meeting into a much nicer event.
Well, it's a home run hit with the screens, trust me.
And when we go, before the meeting starts, you'll see that the top right screen, and when we go into closed session, then the bottom right will be what's shown up on the screen. So we're excited about today being the first live broadcast. The next item I want to update on is the leachate evaporator. I'm going to move through this quickly. The test run for the system with water and leachate is happening between the 16th and the 29th of this month. And on the 30th, the facility startup and handover by the contractor to SPSA. The training will begin. And then on 10/25, they will demonstrate completion to HRSD so that we can bill them for the $4 million reimbursement that they have for us. And then SPSA will enforce any liquidated damages after 10/1/25, and we discussed this in the depth in our executive committee meeting earlier this in the week. Next is the flyover project. The VDOT report that we had last Wednesday went very well. The contractor's making up the time that they are behind, and VDOT projects that they'll be back on schedule in early November. If you've been by there, you see that all three of the piers are completed. One of the abutments are in place, and the MSE wall is being put up on the eastbound lanes, and on the westbound lanes, they're preparing the abutment so that they can begin the process of the MSE walls on the westbound side. So real progress has been made. Contractors are working with SPSA and the city of Suffolk to plan to schedule road closures. I think that's tentatively right now for early November. They presented to the Suffolk City Council last week. So I think the communication is good on this. It needs to be, they'll be notifying Waze and Google Maps about the detour that Suffolk plans for. So I think this is going to go as well as it can, considering the disruption it's going to cause. This is a kind of a picture of the overall project. On the picture on the left-hand side is headed eastbound on 58. The road, you see the ditch has been relocated. They've started the process of installing the abutment and MSE walls on the eastbound side. On the left, the picture on the right-hand side is actually the westbound and the median. I didn't really have a picture that showed all of it together, so I put it two different pictures. The median work is coming along quickly now. If you've been by there, you see that the pier's in place. Also on the westbound side, the pier's in place, and we'll look closer at that. These are I said MSE walls, but as you know, we did a engineering redesign of the MSE walls to install these Gravix walls. What you see at the top picture is what you actually see when you go by this ramp that goes up to the bridge, and it looks is very attractive if you've been by there. The bottom picture is what happens inside, what takes the place of the old MSE walls. These are concrete tiles they put in place, and then they'll pour a flowable fill inside of that low-density concrete that will be poured in the inside, and then that continues to grow up. But that's the Gravix walls, or what we typically would consider an MSE wall. Westbound, the abutment B, I said that they were working on now. This is the gravel fill for the abutment the abutment will be built on those piers that you see in the back. Work in the median is coming along. Now, this picture was taken, I think, about a week ago, and they made considerable progress since then. The piers are up, and they're really brushing up the concrete and cleaning it up at this point. So they're making progress quickly. And this picture is a week old, and it's out of date already. So, all right. Next item I'll go to, unless there are any questions or further comments, I always like to refer back to Suffolk to see if there's anything they want to add to that, because they're working closely with VDOT as well. Nothing? Okay. Update to the member communities. This has been, I've noticed over the last week and a half or so, groundswell of support for what SPSA is doing in terms of extending these use and support agreements and alternative waste disposal contract from all of our member communities in general. Suffolk City Council approved the amendments to the use and support agreement at their meeting on the 17th. So we'll execute those if the board acts today. The executive director briefed the Southampton County Board of Supervisors last night. The Board of Supervisors followed up with approval of the use and support agreement. I want to thank Mr. Thrower for getting that. He had a very thorough packet that he had given them with all the information that we've provided over the last year or so. The chairman briefed Virginia Beach City Council on the 9th, and The city council is scheduled to vote on the use of support agreement on the 7th of October. City of Portsmouth is scheduled to act on the use of support agreement on the 7th of October as well. And if there's any update from Norfolk, I've got something from city manager yesterday that said they thought it was going to be on the 28th that they would be acting on the use of support agreement. So we're moving in the right direction, and there really is a groundswell, I think, of support building at this point. I gave you some critical path issues at our last meeting. I want to give you an update on where we are. I think staff has done a great job this month trying to get through some of these hurdles. We met with the staff and our council met with the Suffolk development team, and if you're not familiar with that, it's a great process, and congratulate you on that. It really made a difference after we went there. There's a group of city staff that's there, and you can ask whatever questions you want to ask about a project you have moving forward. And we got a wealth of information. I think the city got a wealth of information about this project, expansion at the regional landfill, because it's a unique project. It's not your typical developer coming in wanting to build 100 houses somewhere. This is very unique, and we were able to share a lot of pertinent information with staff, and then staff gave us the best way to move forward. We're still working closely with staff, and I appreciate that. So I'm excited about what we were able to achieve in that meeting. The easement issue that I brought to your attention last month with the Magnolia property, Henry's been working on that with the legal team and the owner of the property, and we have etched out a easement that we're pleased with, and our attorneys are pleased with, and we'll be closing on that project today, or that property today or tomorrow. The survey for the tree clearing and grubbing area for cells 8 and 9 was completed. Norman's been working with both the contractor and the surveyors to get that work started. And we still need to award a contract to clear the cells 8 and 9. We're working on that now. There's a couple of, I don't know if you've ever done any tree clearing, but that's a different animal completely. And Norman's working through that process. So we feel good about where we are. We've got the time of year restrictions coming up that we've got to work through. So we're on top of that, and we'll get there. It's just not done quite yet. Update on cell 7 construction. The contract has been executed. Ryan has began mobilizing equipment on the 15th. Arbor Pro is who will be doing the logging for them for cell 7. There's only a small amount of logging that needs to be done there, but they've mobilized their equipment already and looking to get started next week. Environmental safety coordination meetings that we require as part of our procurement process took place yesterday, and excavation of soil is expected to start in 10 to 15 days. So we are moving quickly towards getting construction underway for cell 7. Monthly tonnages, again, next month I'll switch back over to the chart format, but just for this month, it's such a small amount of data for the year, I continue the same process we did last month. Our monthly budgeted tons was just over 37,000 tons. Last month we had 43,810 tons. This month we had 38,859 tons. This is following the same trend that we see every year, so there's nothing to be alarmed about. It's still above budgeted numbers. Commercial tons, we're budgeted at 24,680. We received 28,932 in July and 26,029 for the month of August. So we're looking good on tonnages. Use of support agreements. Brett and I will kind of tag team on this topic. First of all, the use of support agreements, I'm going to go through some of this. It's going to be just a review for some of you, but for the public watching, they'll get an understanding of exactly what the use of support agreements are about. The use of support agreements with the member communities are set to expire on the initial term is set to expire on the June 30th of 2027 if none of the member communities notify SPSA by December 31st of 2025 of their intention to not renew, they would automatically renew for 10 years. The amendments will allow, this amendment that we're talking about will allow SPSA to more effectively manage the region's waste and allow us to more efficiently manage long-term disposal costs and needs for the region. By the amendment will do several things that Brett will talk about, but the main part of that amendment is that extends the use support agreements for through 2052, I believe. So it gives us a longer term to look out in the future and be able to see what it is that SPSA needs for the future and how the best way to manage that is. That's all part of the RFP that we put out. We knew this was coming, so the amendment is just action to be able to allow us to continue down the process of finding a alternative waste disposal mechanism. The amendment will also facilitate 50% diversion from the regional landfill, which is an important factor. You know that the regional landfill capacity expires in 2060 at the current volumes, but through this amendment, it will facilitate us to be able to move forward with the process to divert waste from the regional landfill at the rate of about 50%. And Brett's going to go through some of the specifics about the amendment that we're voting on today. So, Brett.
All right, everybody should have a copy of the proposed amendment at your chair. It's the same version that was circulated last month for consideration. We are bringing it back this month for an actual vote. We've talked about the terms before, but I did want to go over them briefly so everybody who is observing this meeting will have some understanding of what it is if they have not had the chance to look at the draft. There are two things that are being changed here. It is a very simple amendment, but there are two things that are being changed, one of which will go into effect automatically once enough, 75% of the localities vote to adopt it. The other one is conditioned on a number of things happening, and that's the extension. But the first thing that will change is the definition of recyclable waste. And this is really just to conform that definition to the current practice and make clear that recyclable waste, what we're talking about is recyclables that are actually segregated by the communities, their citizens, to be picked up as recycling separate from the general municipal waste. And so that definition, if the amendment is passed, would just change. It's not conditioned on anything, but it's just, and again, it's just to conform how we have been approaching it and how the communities have been approaching it. The second part and the important part of this amendment is the extension of the initial term. As Dennis said, in the current use and support agreements, the initial term runs through June 30th of 2027. There would be an automatic extension coming up here at the end of the year if people don't renew. So what we're essentially asking the communities to do is, instead of renewing for 10 years, make it 25 years. And so that would run through June 30th of 2052. But that part of the amendment is conditioned on a number of other things happening related to the alternative waste disposal contract. And the four items there are listed on the presentation. But the board needs to pass by resolution approval to adopt this amendment. And I've got a resolution that I'm going to read after this that does that. Second condition is that at least 75% of the member communities must execute the amendment, and that is a part of the actual use and support agreement. And to be effective, 75% of the member communities need to adopt it. Third condition, and this relates to the actual, and third and fourth is the actual alternative waste agreement. And this gives the communities a second chance to look at the actual contract, what's being proposed, and make sure everybody's comfortable. But in order for this amendment to become effective, the board's got to pass a resolution, obviously authorizing executive director to execute it and designating Commonwealth sortation as a designated disposal mechanism. And that's a term that's in the use and support agreement. Essentially says, how are we disposing of our waste at any given time? It is something that can change every year with the strategic operating plan review, but that would need to be changed for this. And so those two things have to happen. And then obviously both SPSA and Commonwealth sortation need to actually sign and deliver the agreement. So those four conditions have to occur before the extension takes effect, and if any of those four did not occur, then it will not take effect. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
Staff recommends adoption of resolution approving the amendment to the use and support agreements and authorizing the executive director to execute the amendment with each member community. And I would ask that council read the resolution.
And I hope one day we'll have a resolution that's short and easy to read, but this is not one of those days. Resolution, First Amendment to Use and Support Agreements. Whereas on February 5, 2024, SPSA issued a request for proposal for solid waste disposal services, RFP 01-24, as amended, the quote RFP quote, to establish one or more contracts through competitive negotiation for the acceptance and processing, recycling, recovery, reuse, and/or disposal of 100% of the waste delivered by or on behalf of SPSA to contractors' permitted facilities, and for such contractors' facilities to serve as a designated disposal mechanism as defined in SPSA's strategic operating plan. And whereas since February 26, 2025, SPSA has been negotiating exclusively with Commonwealth Sortation LLC, quote, Commonwealth, quote, regarding the terms of a waste supply and services agreement, quote, WSSA, quote, through which Commonwealth would provide the services requested in the RFP. And whereas the proposed WSSA, if awarded by the Board of Directors of SPSA, the quote board, quote, to Commonwealth and executed by SPSA would require SPSA to deliver or cause to be delivered municipal solid waste to Commonwealth's facilities for a period of 20 years following the installation and commencement of certain facilities equipment. And whereas SPSA currently is a party to identical agreements for use and support of a solid waste disposal system, each a quote UNSA quote, and collectively the UNSAs quote, with each of its member localities, whereby such localities are obligated to deliver their municipal waste to SPSA through June 30, 2027, with the option to extend the term by a period of 10 years. And whereas the proposed WSSA requires that the UNSAs be amended to have an initial term at least through the initial term of the WSSA, and whereas SPSA and its member localities are willing to amend the UNSAs to extend the initial term of the UNSAs subject to the following conditions. 1, the board has passed a resolution approved by at least 75% of the board authorizing identical amendments to each UNSA. 2, at least 75% of the SPSA member localities have executed such amendment. 3, the board has passed a resolution approved by at least 75% of the board designating Commonwealth and/or Commonwealth's facilities as a designated disposal mechanism and authorizing the executive director of SPSA to execute the WSSA with Commonwealth on behalf of SPSA. And 4, both SPSA and Commonwealth have signed and delivered to each other the finalized WSSA. And whereas SPSA has circulated to each of SPSA's member localities a proposed form of a First Amendment to Agreement for use and support of a solid waste disposal system, the quote amendment, quote, a copy of which is attached here too as Exhibit A. And whereas at its regular board meeting held on August 27th, 2025, in accordance with Article 6.8 of the UNSAs, the proposed amendment was presented in writing for the board's consideration. And whereas pursuant to Article 6.8 of the UNSAs, no amendment of the UNSAs will be effective unless such amendment A is set forth in writing and executed by both SPSA and the member locality, and B has been authorized by resolution approved by at least 75% of the board. Now therefore, the board hereby 1, approves, adopts, and accepts the amendment substantially in the form attached as Exhibit A. And 2, authorizes the executive director of SPSA in the name of and on behalf of SPSA to A, execute an amendment to the UNSAs with each member locality substantially in the form of the amendment attached as Exhibit A. B, deliver such amendment to each member locality, such execution and delivery conclusively to evidence due authorization and approval thereof by SPSA. And C, perform SPSA's obligations as set forth in such executed amendments. And 3, authorizes the executive director of SPSA in the name of and on behalf of SPSA to do all such acts and prepare, execute, file, and deliver all such other documents, instruments, certificates, and agreements, each in the name of and on behalf of SPSA that he may deem necessary, advisable, or appropriate to carry out the intent and purpose purposes of the foregoing resolutions, adopted this 24th day of September 2025.
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Is there any discussion? No discussion, no question? Okay, well then at this point.
Mr. Chairman, microphone.
Pardon? Oh. I'll get it one day. So we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution as read by our general counsel. And there being nobody who's wishing to ask any questions or discuss it at additional length, I'll call for a roll call.
Mr. Maxwell,
Yes.
Mr. Sori,
Yes.
Ms. Ralston,
Yes.
Mr. Saunders,
Yes.
Dr. Baugh,
Yes.
Mr. Robertson,
Yes.
Mr. Kiefer,
Yes.
Mr. Person, Mr. McCoy, Ms. Graham-Williams, Mr. Parnell, Ms. Lowe,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Leahy,
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
All right, so the motion has been adopted unanimously. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations on we're clearing condition 1 of 4. All right. So the next item on the agenda is the financial report for July. It's a written report. It's on page 31 of the agenda packet. Next month, of course, being October, we'll have a quarterly report for July, August, September. That will be a presentation, a formal presentation for the board. At that point, any discussions on the, are there any questions or discussions on the financial report? All right, vote's not required on that, so at that point, I would read a motion to go into closed session, and after that, ask for a motion and a second supporting that. I move that a closed session be held for discussions regarding, 1, negotiations with Commonwealth Sortation regarding its proposal received in response to the RFP issued by SPSA for solid waste disposal services, including the potential impact of the proposal on future tip fees in accordance with A, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A29, for the purpose of considering the negotiation and award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, and B, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A8, for the purpose of consulting with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel, and 2, succession planning for the SPSA executive team in accordance with Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1, for the purpose of discussing the assignment, appointment, promotion, and performance of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of a public body. Now, before I call for the motion and the second, I will note that we have previously agreed that for these discussions now on the RFP, the council for the member localities may attend the closed session. But for the discussion of succession planning, that would only be the board members and some members of the staff, but not all the members of the staff. And so is there any discussion about allowing the members from the council, members from the city attorney's offices or county attorney's offices of the localities to attend? No, so there being no objections, we're agreed on that. So at that point, I'll entertain a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no additional discussion, any discussion on that? Okay, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Maxwell.
Yes.
Mr. Sori.
Yes.
Ms. Ralston.
Yes.
Mr. Saunders.
Yes.
Dr. Baugh.
Yes.
Mr. Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Kiefer.
Yes.
Mr. Person. Mr. McCoy. Ms. Graham-Williams. Mr. Parnell. Ms. Lowe. Mr. Green. Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Leahy.
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
Okay. Everybody can bear with us for about 5 minutes here. We'll wrap this up. I'm going to read a motion to certify the closed session, and hopefully we'll,
Make sure they're,
I already said that part. Already did that.
no, making sure that we're.
Oh, you guys, sorry. Glad you're here. We're good, guys? Okay, thank you. Good, thumbs up. All right, back in open session. I'm going to read a motion to certify the content of the closed session, and then we can hopefully have a motion, a second, and then a roll call vote. The Board of the Southeastern Public Service Authority of Virginia hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, A, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and B, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting just concluded. Have a motion? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Maxwell,
Aye.
Mr. Story,
Yes.
Ms. Ralston,
Yes.
Mr. Saunders,
Yes.
Dr. Baugh,
Yes.
Mr. Robertson,
Yes.
Mr. Kiefer. Yes. Mr. Person,
Yes.
Mr. McCoy, Ms. Graham-Williams, Mr. Parnell, Ms. Lowe, Mr. Green, Mr. Hughes, Mr. Leahy,
Yes?
Mr. Brown.
All right, so we've certified the motion. So it's been suggested that there may be a need for a special meeting in November to discuss and vote on the contract with Commonwealth Sortation. And I would like to say see if people are comfortable if we look at some date in the first week in November, perhaps that Monday, November 3rd.
I think it'd be wisdom in at least sticking to the same day of the week.
Okay.
If we could possibly do that.
Wednesday, that would be November 5th. Okay. Can you remote in, or you will not be available? Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully everybody needs to be here, yes. Oh, that's right. If you're a governor, you're a governor appointee? No. Oh, no, you're an ex officio. That's right, right. So Mr. Thrower could sit in, right. That would be the 5th. Mr. Robertson?
Is the intent to have the meeting at the same time at 9:30?
Why not? Sure, that's, of course, we don't know, I probably haven't checked the room availability, but,
If this meeting's at 9:30, I think we'd be okay.
9:30. All right, so tentatively,
Is that CAO meeting here? Because I'm asking because we may need to confirm that the room is available, depending on what is going on that day with you all. Okay.
Dennis, or Mr.
if there
Chair.
was, all right, so tell you what, so tentatively, it looks like, oh, go ahead.
So if there's a Transportation Technical Advisory Committee in November, it would be held at 9:30 here on November the 5th.
Okay.
I mean, I can make Monday.
Can't do Monday, can't remote in? Okay.
Well, what day was that? What day? Monday. If you're changing the date, the time wouldn't matter anyway, if you could.
Well, no, the potential is this room would be available on the Wednesday.
I never, if you switch to Monday, though.
Well, then, didn't you say there was something over in Hampton for the chief administrative officers? Monday afternoon? And we have a couple of people remoting in. Are you guys weighing in on Cheryl or Dale?
Wednesday's better, but I could probably make Monday work.
Dale?
As long, I don't know my schedule then yet, as long as we have remote capability, it doesn't matter. You do what's best and we'll figure it out.
Okay. All right, so what if we were tentatively looking at Monday afternoon now? Okay, I will, we'll do a little research and also get your comments in, you know, if you have, if you know, you want to send anything in to Dennis and I, but at this point, let's sort of tentatively target Monday afternoon, the 3rd of November for a special meeting.
Don't anybody forget that the previous day is daylight savings time.
Yeah, but that's fall behind. So that's an extra hour in the day. That's right, that's an extra hour in the day. Okay. All right.
Then don't get here in the morning.
Okay. All right, yes. Well, yeah, let's tentatively say 1:30 then. Okay, or unless you want lunch. Okay, have staff bring you lunch. Okay,
Just for the record, we'll need to confirm that we have space available here, and we'll get that out to everybody, and that information will be, it's subject to change, but based on that. But if it does change, Deborah will reach out to everybody and make sure you know before we change anything. But 1:30 here on the 3rd.
All right, well, if there's no more discussion or any business to bring before the board, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.